The one thing that I have learned from traveling is that it almost seems like the countries that have the most money have the most depressed people. Meanwhile, people who sometimes don't have the most fortunate lives and upbringings are the happiest, friendliest people. I'm in Bali right now, I'm in Lovina, and I'm walking on the beach by myself, and some guy comes up to me, some older man, he starts talking to me for like 10 minutes, telling me about his kids and his life. He never went to school, he grew up, he couldn't read or write, he couldn't speak English, he learned how to speak English just by talking to tourists who come and visit Bali, and his kids, his daughters in school are the ones who are teaching him now how to read and write. And he's the happiest, friendliest dude. Doesn't have the most fortunate life, didn't even have an education, yet now fluently speaks English and is the happiest, smiliest dude ever and lives on the beach. Like, it really does feel like, just from my experience traveling, that a lot of the times the people who come from the richest countries are some of the most depressed, miserable people I've met. Where you visit countries where some people have less fortunate upbringings and less fortunate lifestyles, and they are the kindest people, the most welcoming people. You walk around Southeast Asia anywhere and people come up to you and talk to you, they smile at you. A lot of them will want to like welcome you into their home. Like, I've walked down streets where people just like welcome me into their homes and introduce me to their families. So I will always say that Southeast Asia is superior because number one, the people, and also the scenic views, because look at this. I don't know. You don't see stuff like that where I live, so.
Ya, dari video itu kita bisa melihat, selama ia menjelajahi berbagai negara, ia mendapatkan sebuah pelajaran yang begitu berharga ketika mengunjungi Indonesia. Bahwasanya kekayaan materi tidak selalu sejalan dengan kebahagiaan. Malah di negara maju, banyak warganya yang terlihat lebih stres dan tertekan dengan berbagai macam hal. Jessica dibuat takjub, bahwa di negara-negara berkembang seperti Indonesia, ternyata orangnya begitu.
Indonesia, I believe they're still considered a third world country. Your US dollars around the world are so powerful, so...
Video barusan merupakan anggapan orang Amerika atau orang Barat pada umumnya terhadap Indonesia. Mereka menyebut Indonesia sebagai negara ketiga. Negara ketiga sendiri adalah sebuah istilah yang memiliki nada merendahkan, digunakan untuk menyebut negara-negara berkembang dan miskin yang seringkali berada di Asia dan Afrika. Ya, sudah menjadi hal yang umum bahwa banyak orang Barat menganggap kalau negara mereka seperti Amerika adalah yang terbaik. Mungkin kalau mau sedikit hiperbola, rasanya negara mereka udah kayak pusat dari tata surya. Mereka merasa unggul dalam banyak hal, salah satu contohnya soal makanan. Kita semua tahu ada banyak sekali restoran fast food yang berasal dari Amerika. Dan banyak dari orang Amerika membanggakan hal ini. Banyak orang Amerika beranggapan bahwa makanan khas mereka adalah standar yang paling pas untuk lidah internasional. Mereka percaya bahwa fast food seperti burger, hot dog, fried chicken adalah yang terbaik. Namun uniknya, di tengah kebanggaan tersebut, banyak bule Amerika justru malah dibuat skakmat ketika mencoba hidangan Indonesia. Ya, hidangan dari sebuah negara ketiga justru malah membuat banyak orang Amerika sampai mau meninggoy ketika mencobanya. Contohnya ada di video berikut.
I was reaching for this and do the reveal. You want to show them? This guy, look at this. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Look at this. So it's Nutella, it's white cheddar cheese in here, and the butter is pretty much spread over there. It's the same butter they use in Indonesia too, from what he explained.
Cheers.
You're the sweet dude.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. He's gonna love this.
Oh! Oh!
Wow.
I hope you are the one.
Bisa terlihat dalam video, baru mencoba martabak, orang Amerika tersebut seperti mau meninggoy karena saking nikmatnya kelezatan dari pancake-nya orang Indonesia ini. Dan gak cuman itu, ada banyak pengalaman dari bule Amerika lain yang benar-benar dibuat kaget dengan makanan Indonesia. Bukan hanya karena harganya murah, tapi cita rasa dari makanan Indonesia benar-benar di luar nurul.
Does anyone know what this is? Today we have nasi padang with paru, aka lungs. I think it's like one of my favorite dishes in Indonesia though. The lungs, too much cholesterol, but you can eat this like once a month, I think, chat. It's so good.
Get one last masakan padang, nasi padang before I leave. Look at this plate I've got. Oh, maybe too much, but there's loads of protein, so I've just been gym, so it's good. things like this, it's better to come in the morning or like as early as possible because it's all fresh. But he's got loads of curries, chickens, vegetables. All of it's good. All of it's good. Wow, guys, got this like I think it's fried beef in sambal. We got beef rendang, chicken curry, like little bits of tempeh. It's like sweet and a little bit spicy. This is like a vegetable. I'm not sure of what, but a vegetable curry. Sambal there, and some curry on top of the rice. Deepa's got vegetables.
Beef.
This tempeh. Oh my god. Oh, that beef's really tender. I just pulled it apart with a spoon.
I see.
Melon juice. That looks good. Oh, guys, this is a treat. Considering that beef's been sitting out for a while, that's so tender. Like, I can pull it apart with a spoon. You don't need a knife. So, that's how you know it's good, man. It's so good. Percadillo. Like a croquette almost. They're so good, man. I love them.
I tried Indonesian food for the first time, and it almost blew my mind. The spot is Krakatoa Indonesian Cuisine, a spot in Hollywood, Florida that's been featured by Guy Fieri and Michelle Bernstein. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when looking at the menu, I had no idea what to get and was slightly intimidated. So I settled on the Ridge Staffel, which is a huge platter for two featuring some of their specialties, including the Tong Seng Camping, which is lamb, Opor Sapi, which is braised beef, and chicken satay, which you probably know what it is. But first, we gotta start with the rice. Now, Kevin, it's rice. How good could it be? You don't get it. This rice was outstanding. The addition of the kaffir lime and whatever seasoning mix they're adding makes it so special. I could eat this by itself, it's so good. The chicken satay was coated in a sweet peanut sauce that was very good, but the beef opor sapi was the star. It was mind-blowingly flavorful. And the lamb tong seng was my least favorite of three, but still really nice. But when you mix some of the flavorful rice with the beef gravy and some peanut sauce, this is an incredible bite. Is all Indonesian food this good? Because if so, I might have to get on a flight to Jakarta. But for now, if you want to take your taste buds on a journey, I highly recommend this spot. And as always, follow for more food adventures.
Ya, yang katanya sebuah negara dunia ketiga, negara yang kumuh, Madesu justru malah membuat mereka mermelek ketika mencoba makanannya. Kekayaan kuliner Indonesia ini membuat banyak bule Amerika mengakui bahwa makanan Indonesia jauh lebih kompleks dan kaya daripada makanan yang biasa mereka konsumsi di negara mereka. Dari sini, kita bisa mengambil sebuah kesimpulan bahwa negara barat tidak serta-merta memiliki kedudukan yang lebih tinggi dari Indonesia. Indonesia bukan hanya negara dengan kekayaan alam, budaya, dan manusia yang luar biasa, tetapi juga negara dengan salah satu kuliner paling kaya di dunia. Label negara miskin atau negara ketiga yang sering dilekatkan kepada Indonesia sebenarnya tidak relevan ketika kita melihat kualitas dan kekayaan kuliner Indonesia yang begitu mendalam.
Indonesia. Bahwasanya kekayaan materi tidak selalu sejalan dengan kebahagiaan. Malah di negara maju, banyak warganya yang terlihat lebih stres dan tertekan dengan berbagai macam hal. Jessica dibuat takjub bahwa di negara-negara berkembang seperti Indonesia, ternyata orangnya begitu ramah, dengan senyuman tulus yang begitu hangat, serta dengan semangat hidup yang tinggi, berbeda jauh dengan kondisi yang ia rasakan di negara barat. Seperti yang kita ketahui, di negara barat, mereka sangat menjunjung tinggi nilai-nilai liberalisme, individualisme, dan materialisme. Dalam sistem seperti ini, kebebasan pribadi dan pencapaian materi seringkali menjadi tolok ukur kesuksesan dan kebahagiaan. Namun, dalam kenyataannya, sistem ini tidak selalu menjamin ketenangan batin atau kebahagiaan yang sejati. Dalam paham liberalisme barat, setiap individu dianggap bebas melakukan apapun selama tidak melanggar hukum. Namun kebebasan tanpa arah kadang membawa pada kehampaan. Banyak orang barat, meskipun hidup dalam kelimpahan materi, merasa kesepian dan terasing. Mereka hidup sendiri, makan sendiri, bahkan menghadapi masalah sendiri. Tak jarang banyak warga asing yang mengeluh dengan sulitnya menjalani hidup seperti itu.
I'm gonna say it. It is not normal in society right now. Everyone is so tired and drained and exhausted and emotionally dysregulated, and their bodies have all, physical issues just from stress and anxiety alone. There's just this intensity that I feel internally, and like my intuition is picking up on it because there is so much grief in the world right now, and there's so much divide, not only politically, but just with people's mindsets and their energy. So, you know, it's great that there's this collective consciousness and this shift in how we, you know, value ourselves and place worth on ourselves outside of this capitalistic hellhole. But, you know, all we can really keep doing right now is taking care of ourselves and fighting so that in the future we can make changes that we need to see.
Tentu, hal ini jauh berbeda dengan di Indonesia. Di negara kita, meski tidak bisa dipungkiri masih ada kemiskinan, tapi masyarakat Indonesia cenderung saling tolong-menolong. Di desa-desa, bahkan di kota-kota besar, gotong royong masih menjadi nilai utama. Orang-orang saling menyapa, menawarkan bantuan, dan menghargai satu sama lain. Dengan adat budaya ketimuran, serta peran agama yang kuat, maka sebenarnya, dari segi mental, orang Indonesia cenderung lebih kuat daripada negara barat. Maka dari itu banyak bule yang menganggap bahwa orang Indonesia jauh lebih bahagia karena memegang semua paham-paham ini. Tentu kita sebagai orang Indonesia bisa sedikit bangga, namun agak sedikit miris melihat semua kondisi yang ada. Ketika banyak bule yang memuji kebudayaan dan adat istiadat kita, serta menganggap bahwa kualitas hidup orang Indonesia sangat tinggi, terutama dalam hal hubungan sosial. Namun di lain sisi, kita juga sadar bahwa ada banyak sekali potensi-potensi dari negara kita yang masih belum dimanfaatkan secara maksimal. Jika dengan kondisi seperti ini banyak bule yang memuji kita, coba bayangkan, bagaimana jika semua potensi negara kita terkelola dengan baik? Tentu betapa luar biasanya negara kita. Bagaimana menurut kalian? Tulis di komentar.